landed in Chicago at like 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m.
Sleep, hopefully.
On the plane, because as soon as we land, it goes. Party, 4 days. Wait, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yep.
So you're back Tuesday?
We fly out Tuesday morning at 8:45 a.m. With the time difference, we land at 10:30.
In the morning, yeah.
Go home, drop our crap off, and go to work.
Ooh.
Yep.
So we'll podcast next Wednesday after you've had a chance to
I don't know.
recover?
Tuesday might be fun. Tuesday might be a fun day for me.
We'll see how Adam's doing. You're a better man than I'm too old for that party.
Well, we did that in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Like, we left, literally, our flight was at 6 a.m., flew back to Seattle, dropped our stuff up at the house, and went right to work.
Wow.
I was here by 10 a.m. that morning.
That's crazy. Yeah, works.
I didn't.
No.
No, I was dead.
That looked really fun, though. I'll live vicariously through your Facebook. It'll be fun.
Ooh, you might see some stuff on this next trip that you're like, I don't want to live that life.
It's all right.
Okay. So let's have a
Episode
show.
79. This is how it starts.
Yep. This is how the beginning of the end is right now. All right. Bite Me Podcast, episode 79. Hi, my name is Adam West.
And I am Cliff Johnson.
Hi, my name's Dylan.
Dylan's dead.
No, he's not. God. And we're now a duo instead of a trio.
He's in Minneapolis. That's as good as dead.
That's pretty much
it's
dead.
Real close to death.
Sorry if you
we
live in
love all of
Minneapolis.
you Minnesota people. I am
Minnesotans?
Minnesotans. My family is familial from there. So
That's a big
my
word.
grandparents are both buried there. So
Are they like, is that like Viking stuff?
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, see, I know the things.
Yeah. No, it's not. They
Is
just
your family like Banner Saga?
they are literally they came over on a boat straight from the Scandinavias. Both sides.
I'm like, there's more than one?
Yep, Norway and Sweden.
What about the Finland?
Yeah, that too. I don't have any relatives from Finland, though. Or Denmark.
Does everybody in
maybe
Finland
some
have fins?
Denmark. Probably, yeah. It's
Gross.
just a bunch of sharks.
All right, yeah, Dylan's out this week, so it's just us. Sorry about it. Not really.
I like to think that this is better.
Well,
That's probably not
kinda
better.
mean.
It's not better.
All right, so news this week. We have got some info on the upcoming Fortnite esports tournament. Lots of money up for stakes in that. Also, some other news in the Fortnite. So there's that. Fortnites. Microsoft has launched this really cool controller for gamers with disabilities.
It's very cool.
It's really, really cool. GTA 5. You thought it was crazy before. Well, now it's just getting ridiculous. Vita games are gone,
Rip.
but the PS Vita is still on shelves,
As much as it has been for the last 2 years.
right? No Man's Sky is going to get an Xbox and what's an MP?
Multiplayer?
Oh, I didn't know that. No Man's Sky is officially getting like real multiplayer.
It took me a minute to remember what it was.
And the PS4 is closing in and entering its final phase. And people started freaking out. They're like, oh my God, it's dying.
See, when I heard final
Calm
phase,
down.
I was thinking it was turning into some sort of awesome robot with a bunch of other PS4. I don't know.
Like that
Voltron style.
Did you ever see that video where the chick went crazy on the drive-thru for not having chicken McNuggets?
Yeah.
She's like, this isn't even my final form.
Exactly. See, and that's what I heard. Not that like it was dying. It was like it's only going to get better. It's going to fold itself into something.
Something that is getting better, Mario plus Rabbids. Not that it needed to get better. Mario plus Rabbids is getting some Donkey Kong DLC, so we'll talk about that.
Do you think they'll call it Mario plus Rabbids plus Donkey Kong?
That would just be stupid. But in a really long name.
Yeah.
Do we really want to start talking about E3 already? Well, considering it's, 2.5 weeks away?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, 3. Time.
I don't know. I can actually tell you because we've got a timer for another thing we're doing, like countdown timer, and E3 happens at the same time.
Oh,
so
interesting. Okay. And Devolver Digital, are they going to have an E3 conference again? Yay? I don't know.
You didn't watch it last year, did you?
No. What was it? Bad?
Some people really liked it. I thought it was a damn train wreck. I really like Devolver Digital. We'll talk about it later.
Wait, was that the one where the guy came out and was all angsty, angry, yelling?
And like the lady was covered in blood by the end of it, and yeah, it was not my thing.
I don't like that. Oh, I'm thinking of the video game awards when that one guy went all crazy.
Not The Last of Us.
That one dude.
Yeah.
Also, questions from Vinny, OptimistPrime, Jjames, Mansocks as well. But first, we start with what we're playing. And this week, I'm telling you what I finished.
Oh.
Yeah, I finished God of War, which was great.
Did you like the ending?
I loved the ending.
Interesting. I've heard both ways.
Oh, if people say they didn't like the ending, then they weren't paying attention and they don't understand what's coming. Or they're not excited for what's coming.
Adam thinks all of you are stupid. That's what he said.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you didn't like the ending of it, well, you're kind of dumb. Not really. I'm kidding.
Everyone I've seen that said they haven't liked the ending is like, well, I can't tell you why, though, because it spoils it. Like,
well, I'm curious. I want to know. If you didn't like the ending, I'd like to know why. Yeah. Maybe it was too, like, I could see people complaining that it was maybe too open-ended.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't necessarily open-ended, this game just very clearly was a setup for a whole series.
Yeah.
Very, very much so.
How many more in the pipe?
There's 5 games total.
Wow. Oh, so 4 more in the pipe.
4 more.
Nice.
Because what is Corey Balrog?
That dude.
Balrog? That Baldur's Gate guy?
I don't know. I don't think that's true.
Baller, right? It's just the name sounds
Corey
like
was a baller.
Let's go with that.
A little bit taller.
Somebody asked him, just point blank, how many games have you got planned? And he said there's a roadmap in place for 5 games total.
And this one sold 3.5
million like the first few weeks.
So
or the first week. Something
probably works.
Crazy. But anyway, I'm curious to know what people didn't like, because the ending of it very, very much was like, all right, now this is the universe we've introduced you to, and up next, we're going to talk about this thing that happened.
Very cool.
And it literally gave me chills. I got goosebumps, and I was yelling at my screen, what? What? As Kevin was coming back in from the gym, he's like, you finished it? I'm like, go away, you can't see this.
Has he finished beating it on ultra super hard mode yet?
If you're on our Facebook page, I posted a video of Kevin just fighting just a random one of those time or space rip thing guys that you just pull through. And they're real hard to begin with.
Those are real hard.
Yeah. Kevin's playing the game on Give Me God of War mode, which all the other difficulty levels, once you start it, you can switch between them if you want. This one, once you start it in that mode, you have to stay in that mode. Yikes. Otherwise, you lose all your progress and start again.
I'm good.
I'm not doing that.
Those Rift guys, like on easy, they kill me. So they're rough.
I don't like it.
No.
No. But he's enjoying it.
Some people are.
Well, and it's funny because he's playing that on crazy super hard mode, and I was on my Switch and I was playing Celeste, which is not an easy game either.
No.
But I played it and I finished it, and I never turned the assist mode on once. Nice. And it was the most satisfying.
That's cool.
Like the most satisfying game finish I've had in a real long time.
Celeste is definitely on my list. I need to do that.
It's good. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's an 8-bit, pixel art style, like kind of platformer similar to Super Meat Boy, where it's the instant respawns if you die. I mean, I think I had 1,900 deaths total in the game.
Wow.
Well, there are certain things.
I get it. Like I've played Super Meat Boy before.
Yeah. But it's really cool because it's telling the story about this girl's battle with depression and panic and anxiety disorder. And it's just as somebody who's dealt with depression and has dealt with anxiety, it's a super relatable breakdown.
That's cool.
Of how this girl's dealing with it and how the story that goes along with it. And it's just really, really, really well done. Really well done. It's perfect. It got a perfect score from IGN. There's a reason it got a 10.
Celeste is the name of the mountain, right?
Yeah, Celeste is the name of the mountain.
I like that.
Yeah, the girl's name is Madeline.
Very nice. Did you get all the strawberries?
Oh God, no, no. There's strawberries and B-sides.
Did you play the B-sides?
Nope. I think I collected maybe 20 or 30 strawberries. And there's B-sides. I've only found one of the B-sides.
That's cool. That soundtrack's really good. Mm-hmm. The composer of that is local, and I've listened to that a bunch of times. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's $20 on the Switch. I think it's pretty much $20 across the board.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, and there's even some post-game content where your stamina, basically your powers they progressively diminish as you go further and further into this area, and on and on and on.
That's cool.
So, yeah, it's real good. So I'm going to finish that up. I've already finished the game, but I'm going to do some post-game stuff.
Nice.
But, yeah, I feel very accomplished that I finished 2 10-rated games, at least according to IGN and a lot of other places, in the last week.
That's really cool.
It's very, very
nice. Getting stuff done's nice.
Yeah. What are you playing?
I played a bunch of stuff, so I'm only going to talk about a couple of them probably for any amount of time.
Okay.
Played more Battlefield 1. I think I'm done with that game. I didn't beat the single player, but it's just not fun.
Is it a very depressing?
No, it's not even depressing. It's very. I mean, it sounds dumb, but it's very World War I, which means you're playing with very like single shot rifles.
Oh, no.
And yeah, it doesn't. It's real slow, real plotting. Like and even like So I stopped playing that and I started playing Wolfenstein 2 again. And Wolfenstein 2 can be that way. It can be real slow. It can be real sneaky. It can be real like sneaking through the shadows, trying to like take down guards and whatever. But if you fail at that, like it just becomes this crazy balls to the wall action, shooting. It's super fun. Battlefield, when you alert the bad guys you're there, just becomes this exercise in you like seeing who can kill each other with their bolt action rifle faster. It's real boring. So I don't know. Some people really liked it, and I liked. Like, I've played 3 levels on it now. I've played the airplane level and the tank level and just like a...
Is flying in that game better?
Yeah, flying was fun. Good. I really enjoyed flying. The tank was terrible and the on-foot game was terrible. So, I don't know. I got it from EA Access, so it's not like I paid for it. And I was never going to play the multiplayer, so that's fine. It can go back in its box.
And Access is Xbox?
Yeah, it's that $30 EA Access.
Which I got.
And so, whatever. I actually deleted it yesterday so I could install State of Decay, too, because I ran out of hard drive space on my X.
Terabyte.
Games are huge, though, man.
I mean, I guess.
Like, there are so many. Battlefield 1, I think, was like 45, 50 gigs. They're big.
Bam.
So, yeah, but Destiny 2 is huge. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But then we get the 4K textures, man. Some of that stuff's big. I played a little bit of State of Decay 2. I'm not going to talk much about it because I got kind of through the tutorial. But so far, the tutorial was real fun. But it's free on Game Pass if you have Game Pass. So pick it up. Came out yesterday, which for, I guess, you guys will be Tuesday. And it has 4-player co-op, which is pretty cool. It's a little weird. Like one person hosts the game and they get to kind of have most of the progress done in their game, and you get to take certain things back with you to your game, which is a little weird, but whatever. So we played some more. I'll play some more of that this week. Definitely, we're going to play some of that this weekend. I'm almost done with Wolfenstein 2. Like super, super, super close. God, that game is so good.
And that was the cutscene from the game from. The cutscene that you posted is from that game.
Yeah.
That's
so go look at our Facebook page. I posted a cutscene from when BJ Blazkowicz is trying to convince this resistance group in New Orleans to join them. And it's really cool. He kind of comes in and kind of meets all the people. And then they're like, you got to decide if you're coming with us or not. And right as he says that, the bad guys attack, and the sniper starts shooting out the window. She's like, I'm a little high strung. Can you play me a song to this other guy who's like a jazz clarinet player? And so he starts talking. And then you, BJ, and the leader of this resistance group start kind of arguing back and forth as you're drinking. And God, like the cinematography.
As the guy's playing the clarinet, this weird jazzy song, there's bullets flying.
Yeah, it is.
It's cool.
It's really cool. It's like 2 minutes long, and I was just sitting there as I was playing. I'm like, this is so neat. It was just like the cinematography and the shots. Like it looks like a movie. It doesn't look like a cutscene. It's good.
That was really good.
And that game has a lot of really good cutscenes, actually. So
nice.
And just the gameplay's fun. It's just visceral, and you get to blow things up. It's great. Nice. So I actually died for my very first time in that game this morning.
Oh, really?
I'm playing on easy, so it's pretty easy. But yeah, actually, yesterday, 2 days ago, I kicked Hitler in the face.
As one does when one sees Hitler.
The scenes with Hitler are incredible because it's set in takes place in the late 60s. I'm gonna say.
So it's almost like there was that what is that Netflix or Amazon show, like The Man in the High Tower? It's almost like this alternate reality where what if?
And this is, literally, Hitler is now in his probably late 60s, early 70s. He's super infirm and frail and has dementia.
You kicked an old man with dementia?
It was Hitler right in the face, and it killed him.
Did you not even think before you did it?
Not even for a second.
You're like, oh, this poor old man. Well, it is Hitler.
He dies, and the game instantly ends and reloads your save, and you get an achievement. It's great. It's good. It's really good.
It's no spoilers.
It's Hitler's in it. Yeah.
Surprise! Nazis.
Exactly. It's very good. I'll have Wolfenstein 2 beat by the next time we talk.
Okay,
and it's great. The other game I played is
real excited.
It's called Beat Saber, and we'll try and describe it, but just go out to the internet and type in Beat Saber carefully, and watch this video. And so it's Guitar Hero, but with lightsabers,
Yeah, so
it's
my
all VR.
my takeaway from it is if you were to play Amplitude,
Yeah.
if you were to play Amplitude with lightsabers,
Yeah. It's only VR.
Amplitude meets Fruit Ninja meets some lightsaber-y kind of game. That's what I would guess.
Yeah, and that's pretty much right. It's a VR only game, and right now it's only PC. It's an early access, so you have to have an Oculus or a Vive, or
find a way to hack your PSVR into the Steam thing.
Do you think it'll work?
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try. So when you look down at your controllers, you just see two lightsabers, and they work like lightsabers. Like you can cross them, and they do that thing.
Nice.
And then these blocks fly at you to the beat of the music, and they're directional. So if a box has an arrow pointing right, you have to cut through it right. If it points down, you have to cut through it going down. And it's all in time to the music. And on easy, it's pretty easy. You're just like slash, 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 slash. And then you get to like the normal, and it's a little bit harder, and they come faster. And then you get to like the more expert and hard ones. And it's like these boxes are just flying at you, and there's these giant wall things you have to dodge and go under, and there's landmines that you can't hit, and it's amazing. It is so much fun.
I saw your kid playing, which was fun.
Yeah, so it's a game that you can mod to, at least for now. They're actually building, I think, Steam Workshop support for it.
Cool.
I don't know if it's Steam Workshop. It'll be moddable anyway. Yeah. And so you'll actually be able to build your own levels, but some folks have figured out already how to mod it. And so I modded mine last night and downloaded Bon Jovi's Livin' on a Prayer, and my kid played it about 45 times in a row, like slashing.
So now that's your favorite song.
It's a great song, though. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
I have like a lot of like 80s Bon Jovi nostalgia. He was like my favorite rock artist in the 80s. So I look back at it now and go like, kind of cheesy, but whatever. But he played it like, he's in there dancing and slashing and singing at the top of his lungs, but wearing headphones too. So it's really not on key. It was incredible. But the game it's really fun. It's very good.
For people who haven't dipped into the whole VR thing, is this one of those games where you're like, okay, this is why VR should be a thing?
There's probably no other way it could work.
Okay.
Just because there's no way you could do the lightsabers without some sort of movement-based controllers. If there was it doesn't need to be in VR. If you could figure out a way to have two, this game would actually work great on the Switch. It would be 100% be fine on the Switch.
Okay.
Because you'd have the two Joy-Cons and you could slash around. They've got the gyroscopes. So I think it would totally work. In VR, though, I think it's even cooler because you can move your body and it moves your avatar, so you can dodge the walls. I mean, some of the walls come over your head, so you literally have to duck almost down on your hands and knees to get under them.
Really?
I think that people are going to be able to do some just awesome, amazing things with this, and really the only thing I think is going to limit it is the game, the music licensing they can get. So what I'm hoping is that a bunch of right now it comes with 10 tracks and they're all kind of EDM kind of stuff. I hope that a bunch of EDM artists, or even what I'd love to see is a bunch of video game soundtrack artists could license into this.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It'd be really cool.
Nice.
So we'll see. I would totally be willing to pay $1 a track for new tracks.
Okay.
Kind of in that Rock Band, Guitar Hero kind of thing, or a subscription.
Help offset the licensing fees and stuff.
Be cool.
Nice. Well, very cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that out. When I come back from our little vacation, I really want to come over and play
Beat Saber time at Cliff's house.
Real bad. All right, there's that. That's what we're playing. Dylan, what are you playing? Okay, good. Yeah. I'm going to make fun of him.
It's all right, yeah.
I'm going to reference him like he's here.
Every single time I go on vacation, I have to listen to the podcast. I'm on the way home, oh, God, what did they say?
Right?
Yeah.
Is he back tomorrow?
He's back tomorrow.
So he's okay. All right. So after what we're playing, I always remind you to like us, rate us, review us, or whatever on the iTunes or wherever you might happen to listen. Leave us reviews. We'll read them. We'll talk about you. If you troll us, we'll make fun of you. But we'll always send you free stuff.
Yes.
Well, I say always. Sometimes we forget.
Yeah, I always remember. I just don't always do. I'm very, very busy.
Yeah. Also, we did a thing back in April in the north part of Seattle. It's called the Northwest Kids Fair. That was in April. We had a booth there, some stations set up for the kids to play. If you are in the Pacific Northwest, again, coming up on June 9th in Puyallup at the fairgrounds, we've got another Northwest Kids Fair happening. Starts roughly at 11 a.m. is when gates open. I want to say we had close to 10,000 people.
It was packed.
Yeah, through the doors.
So many kids play Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Should we force them to play something different, or should we just Mario Kart it again?
Mario Kart is the perfect game for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's so boring, though.
But it has an end.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. There is going to be a VR booth next to us, though.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to have Beat Saber, but if they don't, they should.
And if they don't, you should bring yours, and we'll just compete with them.
Perfect.
Probably not a good idea.
Probably not a good idea. I don't want a bunch of sweaty kids inside my VR.
But anyway, yeah, if you want some more info on that, just follow us on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. We'll post some info if you're in the Pacific Northwest. That'd be super fun. All right. Now that we've gotten all that done, we talk about what, Dylan?
News?
Yeah, news. All right. Would you like your share of $100 million, and do you happen to play the Fortnites?
The Fortnites.
The Fortnites.
Do you play it fortnitely?
No.
No, I don't either.
Nope. I should probably try it again.
It's good. It's good.
That's relative. But there's a lot of money up for grabs.
A lot. $100 million, a lot of money. Mm-hmm. This is for a series of events, like
it's not just a one.
Yeah, it's not. You can't go get $100 million. It's not.
Awesome.
even like when they do like the Dota World Championships, it's a $21 million prize, but that's split up amongst a bunch of teams. Right. So I think this will be kind of a series of tournaments, but still $100 million is a ton of money. Mm-hmm. Two things that I think are interesting about this is, one, like I think last week PUBG was like, dude, we're gonna do a big, huge thing, and it was like $20 million, so
which is still a
ton of money. But like they just come out like, well, how about $100 million?
Yeah, just because we didn't say, Epic Games is providing $100 million to fund some prize pools for Fortnite's first year of competitive play. Which when is this all starting?
I don't know.
We don't even know when it's starting. We just know that when they start doing like legit competitive win money play.
It's the 2018-2019 series, so this year plus part of next year, but holy crap. But my favorite question was so far, so Josh, who's in our Discord and stuff, was like, how can they be giving away $100 million? Like, that's insanity. I'm like, it's because they made like $236 million in March. I don't remember. I think it might have only been $136 million, but either way,
but still,
they are literally printing money. So,
yeah, they're good. And the thing is, like, people aren't even paying for this game like full price unless you're buying that whole whatever
Save
thing.
the World.
Yeah, but that's definitely not where their money's coming from. People are buying into the cosmetic stuff.
Yep, it's crazy.
So they're making money hand over fist with this game. That'll be cool.
Nuts.
That's a lot of money there.
Yeah.
And up next, more Fortnite stuff. What is this? Tell me.
This is great.
I'm not looking at it. I don't know what I'm clicking on.
So Fortnite just added jetpacks temporarily. It's kind of a new thing. Thank goodness Dylan's not here because he can hate all over jetpacks because he hates jetpacks for some reason. I'm like,
why does Dylan hate fun? He doesn't like Deadpool.
Jetpacks for the future. I got to go see Deadpool.
I'm not going to talk about Deadpool 2. Meh.
You're like the only person in the world that doesn't like it.
I didn't not like it. I just didn't care for it as much as the first.
Almost everyone I've seen have said they liked it better than the first. That's interesting.
Oh,
interesting.
You need new friends.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. I mean, I haven't seen it at all. So I will see it and then I will give you my opinions.
But yeah, so he doesn't like guns. He doesn't like jetpacks. He doesn't like Deadpool. He doesn't like what? The rocket launcher
Movies
thing?
in general.
Dylan.
Whatever. It's fine.
Man, find some culture in Minnesota.
We love him anyway.
Kidding.
Anyway.
That sounded funny. Okay.
So they released this jetpack update and then people were like, hey, what's this backpack do? And they're like, this backpack's not in the like notes at all. And once again, Fortnite, who famously accidentally turned on Xbox Xbox PS4 crossplay, accidentally included a storm tracking backpack in their update. Like, I don't know if it's just like too many people working on this or like every once in a while they just like try to slip something in, see what happens. But yeah, no, it was patched out almost immediately, but they're like, hey, I hope you enjoyed it while it was there. So all sorts of Fortnite craziness.
That's kind of cool. So
right?
what did it do? Did it tell you where the next, it told you where the next safe zone would be.
Yeah. Which would be really cool if you could find it. That gives you a huge advantage. Advantage. So,
well, it's interesting that they've got all these things kind of like, because you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. You never know what the next patch is going to be in a game. You never know what they're going to bring for the next, season of this or whatever for that. So it's like, you have to think that they're doing some of this stuff on purpose.
Well, they've got maybe
how accidentally on purpose, leaving a storm tracking backpack?
I mean, my guess is that they have a bunch of stuff they're working on, and they have some sort of, version control system, and something just gets checked in that shouldn't be in there. Or, I'm sure that they're running huge tests all the time. And I mean, they probably have huge testers all the time. I mean, that stuff goes on constantly, and their team's massive. So,
right.
I don't know. I love the idea that we're just like, whoops, sorry.
Oopsie.
Yep.
All right. Up next, Microsoft is launching a disability-friendly Xbox controller. It's an adaptive controller with 2 giant buttons for elbows or feet and 19 ports that can accommodate all kind of extra little input devices
this thing is super cool. And kind of the way it came about was just kind of a group within Microsoft that entered some sort of internal hackers thing. And so they put together this thing that people that, maybe don't have hands or maybe don't have use of their hands or need to use one of those, like how Stephen Hawking had the thing he could blow into that would make his wheelchair go around, could only, control using one of those. People that physically can't hold a joystick either because, they, like they said, the assumption is that someone who holds a joystick has 2 hands and, can grip it and then independently use their thumbs to move thumbsticks. If watch someone who's never used a gamepad before and watch them try and do it, and you'll very quickly realize that it is not intuitive in any way.
No.
We can do it because we're used to it, but there's a huge amount of gamers that don't have access to that. So they put this thing together, and people are like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." So they spent the next year working with a charity that deals with people coming back from war zones that want to be able to game.
Yeah, that charity's called Warfighter Engaged.
Yeah, and people that have been blown up and all sorts of terrible war stuff, and so finally they were able to play games. So they got a bunch of feedback from them, and they brought it back to this hacker tournament. And then they got a bunch of feedback from a bunch of other charities, ones that deal with cystic fibrosis and all these other things. And they've created this gamepad, and it runs on batteries. It can sit on your lap, or it can sit on a desk. It has a tripod mount on the bottom. If you want to mount on a tripod, it can sit on the floor. It's chargeable via USB-C. And like Adam was saying, it has 19 ports on the back, and the ports are just headphone jacks, essentially. Yeah. So you can plug in big buttons if you need to have buttons to be able to press, or things you can control things using bytes. You can actually bite down on something, and then you can create this system via all these customized, that is the main deck, and then all these customized peripherals. But it's only $100, which is the huge selling point of it.
Wow.
Because nowadays, before this thing existed, people that needed these, they were thousands of dollars. And often you have to go through a charity to get them to sponsor you, and there's waiting lists and all this stuff. And now people will literally be able to spend $100, get this base system, and then only customize the things they actually need. So you might be able to just get $100 and be able to use it and be perfect, or maybe $200 to get this base system and a couple of extra buttons or whatever. But because it's completely customizable to exactly your needs, and they said also you can hot swap things while you're playing.
Oh wow!
As opposed to old systems where it was turn your system all the way off, plug things in,
boot it up, let it recognize, blah, blah, blah.
And this works on the Xbox and the PC. And so the people that this is made for are just talking about how it will literally change their lives. That they were big gamers in the past and want to be big gamers in the future, or just love the idea of being able to play games and haven't been able to. So this is a huge deal. It's a massively huge deal. Sure, for a small group of people, but a group of people that have never been able to get the joy out of video games that we have all the time.
I can only imagine, you've seen the videos where there's kids that are colorblind, or there's people that are colorblind, and for the first time...
I'm the biggest sucker for those videos, in case you're wondering.
But they'll put the glasses on, and they've never seen color before, and it's just so great to watch them experience that thing that we just take for granted. So having something like this, I'm really curious to see, how these people feel, being able to play these games and experience these stories and these experiences that we all just kind of take for granted.
They said one of the cool things that I thought was really cool about it too is it has a built-in thing called, I want to say, Copilot. So let's say that you had a range of movement that would let you shoot things, but maybe not a range of movement to actually move things. You can actually somehow hook up another controller to it, and so let's say you could move me around, and I could use the buttons to shoot.
Oh, nice.
So you could play with someone who maybe is more able-bodied than you are and control a single character.
Oh, that's really cool.
Isn't that neat?
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. So looking forward to whenever that happens.
Yeah.
All right, up next, Grand Theft Auto. It's just getting ridiculous. It's the game that will not stop. It's the single most profitable piece of entertainment
ever. Yeah, over $6 billion.
Stupid.
And it's on the cusp, the literal cusp of selling more than 100 million copies. It's at 95 copies. We talked, I don't even know, 5 months ago, when it crossed 75 million? It's absolutely insane.
Only that?
It has not been that long. I guarantee you it has not been that long.
Wow, that's nuts.
Who were these 20 million people that just didn't already own
all of a sudden they're like,
Grand Theft
hey, I've heard about this great game. Have you heard about it?
It's this great game that came out in 2013, 2014. Like, I've just been waiting. And it's not like that game dropped in price and all of a sudden you were able to scoop it up for $15. It's $30.
Well, it's 30. Is it 30 now? Like all the time?
No, it's like 30 on sale.
Oh yeah, it's 30 on sale.
Yeah. And I mean, they did really just release that big. I don't know if it's actually come out yet. I know they were talking about releasing that big Grand Theft Auto online pack that came with the game, and then a ton of online credits and stuff. So
I think that's. I want to say that's why. Because just recently I saw that it was $30 on the Xbox, but that was just the base game. But then you can get it with this, and you can get it with that, and you can get it with the blah, 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 blah. And like the high end of it, I want to say was like $130. Yeah,
because that pack was expensive. It was like $70 or $80.
Yeah.
I don't understand who these people are that keep buying this game.
I mean,
it's a great game. Like, don't get me wrong. It's an amazing game. Who doesn't own it by now?
But I mean, it was developed at a very specific time.
Yeah.
And it's got to be starting to show its age.
Oh, I just beat it like 2 months ago. It's 100% showing its age.
So at what point are they going to overhaul the thing? Do you think they're going to overhaul this with, just updated engines, graphics, controls, blah, blah, blah? Or do you think they're going to actually bring out a GTA 6 and do you think they could integrate it into the online world that GTA 5 already has, or do you think it'll have to start from scratch?
Not, because that's my biggest complaint about GTA 5 is the online is horrible. It's janky, it's broken, it's impossible to join, it's impossible to do, it's blah.
Right. There's got to be something to it if it keeps selling like this.
But I mean, the question is, you've got to think that GTA 6 is already in development, right? But when does it come out? Red Dead Redemption 2, yeah. Comes out in
November.
3 months, 5 months. When do you bring out... I mean, if they're smart, if they're super smart, they're going to bring this game out in... GTA 6 comes out in 2020.
Okay.
Because then you still get last generation, you get all the people with Xboxes, all the people with PS4s, and they sell a bajillion copies of it. And then in 2021, PS5 comes out.
Right.
And you do exactly what they did in this generation, where they brought it out for the 360 and the PS3, and then remaster it as soon as the new systems drop. And then you sell it again.
Right.
So you get all the people that are double dipping. So, I mean, I think we could easily be another 2 or 3 years away from GTA 6.
Oh, probably. But
I can't imagine they'd remaster this one again. It's already been remastered once.
That's true.
I mean, I'd like them
plus
to.
It's like it's sold 20-ish million in just the last 3-ish months.
You know what they should do? 100% what they should do is they should remaster it for the PC. It's never been released, I don't believe.
On the PC?
I'm pretty sure. Is GTA 5 out on the PC?
That's where I've got it.
Oh, really? I thought that was what was the one that didn't come out on the PC?
Mm-hmm. I've got it on PC.
Oh, Red Dead Redemption never did.
Oh, yeah. So
no, you're right. Yeah, it is available. That would have been the smart thing to do, but it's too late.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, maybe they're just taking their time, seeing they're like, hey, remember that online thing we did with GTA 5? That turned into something we weren't expecting, so let's do it right this time. So maybe that's what they're spending all their time doing.
I don't know, man.
And it could. And I'm going to switch up the category, the way we're doing our news. What's the order?
You do your thing.
Because this could be maybe what they're doing. So officially, Sony has said the PS4 is entering into the end of its life cycle, the final phase. Final phase. So maybe they've been waiting for that to happen, waiting for the PS4 to kind of okay, it's been out for 5 years now. It's got to be slowing down. We're going to, just focus on what the next thing is. And now that they've said this, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Your timeline prediction of 2019, 2020, maybe.
So he's saying that the next PS whatever is maybe March of 2021. Right. And that makes tons of sense to me. So you release GTA 6 spring of 2020. It's out for a year on current gen consoles, and it's going to be amazing because like the best games from any console generation come in
Always
the
at the
last
very
year,
end.
year and a half of that.
Yep.
They've figured out how to program for it. They've optimized the crap out of all their engines. It could be great. And then they release the PS5 just for the sake of whatever, and it's it's 4K on everything. It's 4K 60. It's amazing. And then they remaster it and sell it to everyone again.
Oh, my God.
And I will buy it both times.
Well, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Both times, 4 times over.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so the, who said it? The guy? That guy, John Kodera, Sony Active Entertainment CEO. I can't read today.
Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO.
I'm going on vacation
John
tomorrow,
Kodera.
and I'm tired.
Yeah. So, that's a pretty high level announcement to say, yes, the PS4 is winding down to a degree. But like I said, the best games you're going to play in this system are going to come out in the next 2 years.
Right. Well, and what's interesting is everybody that I've seen on Facebook that's freaking out or online, they're like, oh my God, the PS4 is dying. No. So all it was what is it? Year over year sales were down by
they expected
a million.
They expected last year it sold 19 million. This year it'll sell 16 million, and it's just gonna. But the reality is, at some point in time, this system sold 70 or 80 million units.
79 million.
Yeah. It's at some point in time, everyone that owns one owns one.
The market is saturated. Yeah. Everybody's got it. Everybody who's going to buy it has bought it.
What I'll be interested to see is if that means that Xbox and Switch tick up. I mean, I think the Switch is obviously going to keep getting sales.
I don't think.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the Switch. I don't think it's going to do anything except just keep on going.
Yeah, but I wonder if you'll start to see Xbox pop up because people will go like, "Well, I've had this PlayStation for a while. Like, I can buy a new system in between those two."
I think they should. Yeah. I think the Xbox is a great system.
Same.
The Xbox One X
I love it.
in particular, love it. And you couple that with Games Pass and.
Yep,
dude. There's if Microsoft plays their cards right with that Game Pass, whatever you call it, into the next generation, if they could really put a hurting on Sony. I really think
they've been doing everything right. Frankly, they've been very.
I don't know about everything.
Well, in the
right.
last 3 years, they've done everything right. They had a super rough launch, but they've really, really kind of picked themselves up and are doing a lot of smart things. But what I will
just nobody has a system, so they notice it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what Xbox does in response to this. What their next play is, whether it's the Xbox Z. I don't know. But
would be the Xbox One Y.
There you go, the One Y.
Why? Because we don't know. We're Microsoft. We do what we want.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this goes, though. I'm excited.
All right. So there is that. Physical. So another Sony system's dead. Physical Vita games are dead. The Vita is still available, sort of, somewhere on a shelf in a place in Japan.
Yeah, you can still buy them new, but they're hard to find. But they're pretty cheap used, so that's nice.
Yeah, I got mine for $100.
Yeah, I see them for that kind of like that.
And I love
that 90 to 120 all the time. Yeah,
it's so sad because the Vita, I feel like the Vita was really trying to do what the Switch accomplished.
Exactly, just a day too early.
Yep. What's going on? The end of the road for physical Vita games. It's happening.
Kind of now, I think. So last week, the developers of Stardew Valley announced that the Vita edition is launched. Well, it launched yesterday. Yeah.
Wow. Do I need to? I'll have it on PC, Switch, and do I want it on Vita?
No, I don't think so. I think if you have it on Switch, you've got kind of the definitive version. I think.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a great game too.
It is.
And that kind of sucks because I was really I had a PSP and I really liked it. I played some God of War games on that and played my Hot Shots Golf, and I still play my Hot Shots Golf on my Vita because it's so slim and it feels so good in your hand.
Yeah. I think unfortunately it just didn't sell.
Great little screen too.
Yeah, it sold 13, 15 million units and just didn't.
That sucks.
Yeah, just didn't quite take out. I think it was priced a little high at the time, probably.
Absolutely.
Looking at it now, maybe not, and all the things it could do, maybe not. But I mean, that's kind of what's kept me from picking up one new. Is it's still $200, which when I can get a Switch,
that's $300.
Yeah,
math.
Yeah.
All right. So next, No Man's Sky is getting cooperative multiplayer in July. Finally.
Yeah.
That thing that. So it's interesting because when they talked to that guy,
Sean,
he was all like, "Well, we never really said it would have this."
Yeah.
But, dude, you kind of implied that it would have
There was a lot of implication in No Man's Sky, but I think you've got to give Hello Games a lot of credit for...
Absolutely.
Like, they could have pulled a Mass Effect Andromeda and just said, like, well, no one likes it. We're stopping now.
Yep.
And instead, they've gone down, kind of head down for 2 years and have just consistently been putting out new content. And I think... that people that love this game have continued to love it and have continued to be very impressed by it. And it's a great game to just kind of go chill in and fly around. And I think multiplayer is going to be something that I'm really excited about to give it you have it on the PlayStation, right?
Yeah, I've got it on my PlayStation.
We'll have to multiplayer it.
Yeah. And I really like, for what it is, I've probably not picked it up since the Atlas Rising kind of patch or expansion, whatever they called it. And I always enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah. I didn't go into it expecting some deep, meaningful thing. I'm like, it's literally just about exploring, collecting, and crafting. Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
The crafting is all fairly new.
Yeah, I think it could be really fun. And it is getting an Xbox release too. So that was soon too, I believe. So if not already.
The multiplayer update is set to hit on July 24th, and that's also the game's first release on Xbox One.
Very nice.
So it looks like the multiplayer and the Xbox.
Something tells me that game is gorgeous in 4K.
Oh yeah. Well, they updated it and patched it for the PS4.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. Yeah. And I'm curious to jump back in just to kind of check it out, because one of the big complaints before was all the environments, all the planets, they were all versions of one another.
Samey. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that they said that a lot of the latest patches and stuff and releases have really, really helped the planets differentiate themselves from one another.
Yeah. So it's a game, I've played about 15 minutes of it and thought it was fun, but like that first mission, man, where you have to like haul like
slog
20 minutes
everywhere.
Away. Yeah. Oof.
I mean, I've probably got 40, 50 hours in that game.
Wow. Well, that's cool.
It's a great, it's a fun time suck. I
think we forget about sometimes that there is a reason to play games that aren't super objective based. Go here, kill this, and then go over here and kill this thing, and then go over here and kill this thing. Like I like a game that's a little slow and just a little methodical and a little like gives you some space to kind of figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, and it's the perfect game for it.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, some more DLC on the way. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Donkey Kong DLC is coming up. When is that? Coming up this summer?
Yeah, apparently it's just going to be called Donkey Kong Adventure, not Mario plus Rabbids plus Donkey Kong. I'm a little disappointed, I'll be honest.
Well, I mean, is Nintendo ever really known for their
No, that's fair.
super creative titles? They're like Mario 23.
Yeah, no, I think that'll be fun. I have not played much of the new Donkey Kong game, the
Tropical
Freeze, past what I played at a demo event at Comic-Con, but I've heard phenomenal things about it, so I think it's just fun to add this in. You played a lot of Mario plus Rabbids, right?
I won't say I played a lot of it. I think I'm about 2/3 to a halfway through.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Kevin finished it. My friend Tim finished it. A lot of people I know finished it.
I played about an hour and bounced off it pretty hard. It just wasn't exactly my
thing. It. I'm probably going to... Depending on how well the muscle relaxers work on my flight tomorrow night, this game was the game that I was going to have to keep me company.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
So, because I like those strategy games, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's a game that I think I need to start over on, because I felt very much like I got to a point where there were things that I needed to know how to do that I didn't know how to do. Like I missed a cutscene, or I missed some instructions, or I missed something. I'm like, I'm here and I made it through this level, but everyone's almost dead and I don't know what to do. And so I think I need to try it again.
There's ways to bounce back out of the whole, like, if everybody on your team dies, you're like, oh crap, I'm the last one. There's ways to, So
I think I need to start over again, because I think I could like it. I just was playing it badly.
So it's a Ubisoft game, but they did such justice to all the character models. Like, you would honestly think that this was a Nintendo game.
It looks beautiful and was awesome. And it was really fun. Like, I enjoyed everything about it, and I like the story, and I think Rabbids are lots of fun. Yeah. And so I need to try it again. It keeps going on sale. Like, it's one of the very few games, because I think probably because it is a Ubisoft game, that you see drop into that like $25, $30 range a lot, which is pretty uncommon for Switch games. So,
all right. So, E3.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
Apparently it's 2 weeks and 2 days from now, which is actually like 4 or 5 days closer than I thought it was. But we've had a lot of people asking about it. Some people kind of excited about stuff and
things,
leaks and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't seen, like, I kind of spent a little bit of time kind of wandering around the internet looking at, what the potential leaks may be. And I think it's almost too early to really speculate too much. But one thing we do know is that the PlayStation, at least what they're going to reveal, is kind of out there already. And a lot of people were super excited about it. It's great. But to me, it's kind of like, hey, PlayStation's releasing all, their big E3 stuff is all the stuff that they talked about last year that hasn't come out yet.
Right. They're like, remember that thing we talked about?
Yeah.
So we're going to do it again.
Yeah. So it's Spider-Man. And I think Spider-Man has the potential to be very, very cool.
Well, I think this Spider-Man, this is going to be the definitive comic book hero game.
The only thing that has really made me super nervous about it is in the video from last year's E3 looked really quick-timey, and I'm not a fan. So
I was listening to, I think it was Game Scoop, and they were talking about, one of their listeners had emailed in and said, QuickTime events, yes or no? And their response was very well measured, and it's exactly how I feel about it. Used the right in the right amount, they absolutely add to bringing you into the game and making you a part of that cinematic experience where the game is doing things that you just cannot do with a controller.
Yeah.
So when they're done in the right amount of time, or when they're done the right amount of times across the entire, play of the game, then they keep you a part of it. But when it's nothing but QuickTime events, like what was it, the Dragon's Lair game, the original Dragon's Lair? That was all one big QuickTime event.
I don't know if that counts.
But it was all one big thing. You had to hit a button. You had to go a certain way. And that's what the entire game was. Unique for the time, but now if you have a game that's nothing but that, that's just
it's like 3 years old now. Because, there was, 3 or 4 years ago, every single game came out with, every thing had a million.
Well, the original God of War series, that's kind of that's probably what made it super mainstream, just because everybody played that game. And there was QuickTime events throughout that entire game.
I could live in a world where they don't exist ever and be just fine. To me, and I know we feel very separate, differently about this, but I think they make God of War significantly worse. I would rather watch that. But part of my problem too is, especially when they happen as seldomly as they do in God of War,
right,
is a lot of time when I'm doing a cutscene, I'm like, okay, I put my controller down. All of a sudden, I'm like,
oh crap, yep, keeps you in it,
but not in a positive way. To me, I would rather be able to do cool things and not have them be tied to QuickTime. But either way, it's neither here nor there. That game just looked and it was just the presentation of it looked very QuickTime heavy. There was kind of text scrolling at the bottom that seemed to imply very much that you were hitting different things through different combos. And I don't know. It looks really cool, though. So it may be very cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping it is.
Yeah, same. We know Death Stranding's coming. We actually have a question about that later, so we won't go super into Death Stranding. We know that... oh, man, my brain just totally went...
Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2 will be there. Like I said, it's pretty much the games that were there last year that just haven't been released yet. And I want to see more about Last of Us 2 more than anything in this world, as long as there aren't spoilers, because I still haven't beat Last of Us 1. But I know. I'll get there. I'll get it.
Come on.
I'll get there. But I think we're going to see a lot of that. The kind of, to me, the kind of, black horse that we don't know anything about right now is Xbox. I have no idea what they're going to be releasing, because everything they talked about pretty much has come out.
Yeah, they've already, they said we're doing it, and they did it.
Yeah. The system came out, a lot of the game, we have Sea of Thieves, we have State of Decay 2 now. There's still a handful of first-party things kind of coming out, but I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun to watch. I'm very, very excited. Unfortunately, the kids' fair happens during part of it.
Well.
Whatever. We'll bring a TV.
We don't care about those kids. I'm kidding. We love kids.
Love kids.
And speaking of E3, Devolver Digital, are they going to have a E3 conference again?
Yes, they are.
Oh, man.
Like I said earlier, this was one of those. It was almost like the conference was very meta. Where the conference was almost making fun of other conferences that other things do. And it felt very weird and self-referential. And I remember I was on Twitter at the time it came out, and it was like split right down the middle, where half of people were like, oh my God, that's the most greatest thing in the entire world. It's funny. It's making fun of video game conferences. And the other half of it was like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I fell very, very hard onto this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But I'm
watching the YouTube clips of it from last year.
It's ridiculous. Go watch it because it's absolutely ridiculous. But I really, really like the games that Devolver Digital makes. And so I'm willing to give them another try, but literally their tagline is apologies in advance. So,
yeah, the tweet they put out, that's awesome.
We'll see.
Weird. Real weird.
Yeah, it was super weird. Go watch it, though. It's if you watch it outside the confines of being like, hey, you're supposed to be telling us about video games here, it's fun to watch. And the production was a spectacle. I will 100% say that it was interesting, but maybe not my jam.
Yeah, definitely not mine. All right, there's all your news.
All the news that's fit to print.
Yeah. All right, we have questions this week from Mansocks, Jjames, OptimistPrime, and we always start off with, he's not here to do it, so I will do it, Vinny.
Oh, yeah, Vinny. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. All right, sorry, I'm just not good at the...
Yeah, I mean, I could do that accent, but it seems like it would be taking something away from Dylan. It's like...
Yeah. We've already taken enough of his soul. We're just going to leave that alone. Vinny wants to know, who is your favorite side character in any given video game?
It's good. I really, really, really like current games that I've played recently. I really like, and I can't remember his name. We talked about him last week. The little... trolley side blue dude in God of War that makes all your weapons and armor and stuff.
Baruch or
yeah,
Baruch?
whatever. I don't know what his name is, but I love like him, and I love that
foul mouth.
He's like super foul mouth and very short with you, but I love that he just kind of follows you through the game. And the first time you're like, how did you get what? How does it?
And you
do they tell you about that later?
Well, no, but he's got a brother.
Oh, I know. I've met his brother.
Oh, you have met his brother. Yeah. Okay, so they both, like, it's not just one.
They both kind of show up.
They both just show up.
I just love it, though. Like, the first time you're like, how did you get... But this doesn't make any... And then after that, you're just like, oh, he's here, too.
He's here, too.
I like that. My favorite sidekick, though, is probably Claptrap from Borderlands because he's just so dumb and goofy, and I adore the when Borderlands 2 came out, the video they put out with, like, now with 4 times more wub wub. He's just such a fun, stupid, dorky, always happy character, and he's good. He's real good.
So I was actually going to say my favorite side character. I really like Atreus.
Yeah,
from God of War. Like, for the first time, where you've got this pseudo NPC, but you can do things with him. Like you can make him do things. Yeah, like you can make him do things, but at the same time, you're really not in complete control of him.
Yeah, he does kind of his own things.
It never once felt like he was a hindrance.
Yeah.
He never annoyed me.
No.
Once in a while, well, that's Kratos. But once in a while, like, he'll say the same thing. Actually, you know what? No, he doesn't. The reason I say his voice got annoying is because Kevin was playing on super, super crazy hard mode, and he had to do the same fight
180 times?
Yeah, over the course of about 45 minutes. So I heard the same line over and over and over again just because Kevin kept
They did a really good job of not having him be repetitive.
Yeah. And he's the way that he, like, kind of is like, oh, okay, well, if you want, we don't necessarily have to go over here. We can go explore over there a bit if you want to. Or, hey, Mimir, what was that you were saying about Freya?
Yeah.
And he'll just start these conversations that help tell the story.
Yeah. I will say 2 things, maybe 3 things. As someone who owns a child of about his age, he is written so well.
Yeah.
Absolutely reminds me of what it would be like to take a relatively, all kids that age are kind of obnoxious, out into the woods doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He's written so well. And I think the same thing about Ellie, is that what I say, from The Last of Us. She's written so well and does the things that you'd expect a kid to do, but also does the obnoxious things you would expect a kid to do. Like she you're walking with her and all of a sudden she starts whistling and he's like, stop whistling. What are you doing? And I'm like, I say that to my kid 48 times a day. And I just love how well written those are. Far Cry 5 has the worst sidekicks because they say the same lines over and over and over
and I haven't
over
brought
and over
I haven't
again.
brought the sidekicks with me enough to listen to them talk. I've just got the dog.
Get the bear and the cougar, and you never have to have another sidekick anywhere.
That's sweet.
And plus, then all of a sudden, when you set them free, the Peggies will go like, "Oh my God, it's a cougar!" But God, they talk to themselves constantly. If you don't have another friend with you, they'll talk amongst themselves and say the same things over and over again.
That's
if you don't
really
have a second
annoying.
one with you, they say the same things to you over and over and over again. It's real bad.
Yeah.
But they, have a sniper rifle too, so that's sometimes nice.
Was there a third thing?
No, I think I kind of merged God of War and The Last of Us.
Gotcha. All right, thank you, Vinny, for that. Optimist Prime wants to know, will Death Stranding live up to the hype? Did you guys ever get asked about games you felt were overhyped or underhyped? I don't even... So all I know is that it's got Daryl from Walking Dead in it. That's all I know, and it's that Kojima guy who did those Metal Gear games.
I think
Metal Gear Solid games.
Yeah, and so
Whatever.
I think that it's Norman Reedus and Mick Mickelson. Is that what I want to say?
That sounds like a plan.
Are the two actors that are going to be in it, and Hideo Kojima. And Kojima has a fan base that is absolutely insane. They love everything he does, and I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game.
Well, I think his fan base, for one, is because of the Metal Gear Solid games, obviously. But I think with the way that he and Konami split ways a few years ago, I think everybody was like, "Are you insane?
Yeah.
Let's support this guy."
And I think he's got kind of that weird genius thing too, where he gets
Me too.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
He gets away with things in his games that other people wouldn't be able to get away with because he's weird and crazy and comes up with all these crazy reasons about, weird things.
Right.
And so I think you've got that. And then, they've released a couple trailers for this. And, one, it's a baby floating in some dude's mouth and, with babies in pods. And then the trailer, and I can't remember if it was E3 or the Game Awards last year, that was 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I just sat there watching. I'm like, I am not high enough to understand what's going on here. And I'm not sure I can get high enough ever to understand what's going on here. So to me, will it live up to its hype? Maybe. What's this game even about?
That's the thing. Nobody knows what it's about. Nobody's seen any gameplay of this game.
I read the
either.
Wikipedia for it, and they're like, here's what it is. It's this adventure game that takes place in here, and there's this other world where you can go and affect different things and come back to this world. And I'm like, what are you getting that from? I mean, I'm sure it's interviews, and if you've listened to everything they've done about this, you could probably piece together that there's a game there.
Well, and I want to say, I can't remember who I was listening to. They were like, maybe it's just some weird art piece where he's just releasing these 10, 15-minute shorts, or you piece them together once he's like, well, that's it. Then it's our job, our game is to go back and piece all these things together and go, oh, there's the story.
Yeah. And I mean, that's it's just performance art. They're pretending to make a video game. But I mean, and that's just kind of what he does. You go to their new studio, when you walk through the doors, there's a 10-foot hallway that's just white, bright lights, and it's supposed to be being rebirthed into their office. Everything's symbolism and insanity. Yeah. So, is it going to live up to the hype? Maybe.
I think it'll live up to the hype just because at least we'll all know what the hell is going on.
I guess the question is it going to be a good game? Maybe.
Has there ever been a bad,
Well, I think it's kind of people love
subjective.
Metal Gear Solid 5, but it's a 75-hour game where a lot of it's real desolate and strange. Metal Gear Solid 4 was that game that infamously had 35-minute cutscenes.
Right.
I don't know if if he's had a bad game or if people just kind of, if he gets a pass on a lot of things because of his history. So I don't know. I will 100% play it when it comes out. Yeah. But I'm still confused by it. Hopefully E3 clears some of that crap up.
And any games recently that you feel like were overhyped or underhyped, or that, overhyped or underhyped?
The Stick of Truth for me was a game that kind of hey, I'd heard about it, and I'm like, Subpark, that'll be fun. And it was, and it came out, and I loved it. Loved it. I'm going to say the original Star Wars Battlefront for me. I thought it was overhyped because I just didn't care for it. Yeah, that's fair.
Also, and it's a perfect example of a game that was way overhyped. Everybody lost their mind over it. didn't do well, and then over the course of the next 2 years, they're like, okay, they actually did some stuff. No Man's Sky.
I was going to be like, is that The Division or For Honor or Rainbow Six Siege?
Well, Division did really, really well.
No, it was one of those games that came out that was super...
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a massively popular game.
No, I mean, I think it sold a lot of copies, but people were real disappointed in it at first.
Oh.
They've done a lot of work to make that game better.
I really like that one.
No, I agree. I did too.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how Destiny was. It was. I think games as a service now, they come out crappy and you just have to wait for them to get better. Sea of Thieves probably came out a little bit overhyped for me. Like, I really enjoy it. Like, Vinny keeps hitting me up. He's like, dude, it's so good. I'm like, no, I think it's great. I think it's really fun. I really enjoy all my time in Sea of Thieves. I'm just going to not play it for 6 months because I'm going to wait for there to be something in it.
Other than really, really pretty water.
Yeah, I love the idea of the game. And if I ever just want to go, like, chill, it's a perfect game to just, like, float around in and chill in.
Seriously.
But there's not much game there yet. But I think there's going to be. There's a new update coming out next week, so maybe we'll play it and talk about it next week.
All right. Up next, Jjames wants to know, do y'all listen to podcasts, and if so, what? Yes, we do.
Mine just over and over on repeat all week long.
That's it.
How long did you listen to our podcast every week before you stopped?
I still actually do, mainly just
really?
to make, but I listen to the rough edit. If it's something that I've done here and posted before you put it live, I tend to listen to it on the drive home.
Oh, nice.
Mainly just to make sure that I didn't miss any F words or S bombs or whatever.
They happen occasionally.
They do. Yeah. We're human and adults.
Yeah.
So I know I talk to you guys about all the podcasts I listen to all the time. First of all, Game Scoop, NVC from IGN, those and the podcast Beyond.
Yep.
Those three, I don't miss them.
Do you listen to Unlocked?
Is that the Xbox one? Mm-hmm. No, I don't. I need to.
It's good.
I just got to make room in my life for another podcast.
Yeah, and I used to listen to all four of those as well, and I've kind of fallen off all four of them. Mm-hmm. They're excellent podcasts. I just started listening to other things.
Right.
So I listen to the Waypoint podcast, which is a gaming podcast that's done by Waypoint, which I like. It's kind of political, and it's a little bit social justice warrior-y, if that's not your jam. So, whatever. It's a very progressive video game podcast. Right. So it's good. I listen to. They do 2 episodes a week, so I listen to that a lot. Yeah, they do one Monday and Friday.
Typical SJWs with nothing better to do.
Oof, I opened up this one this morning and it was 2 hours long. I'm like, well, dang. So it's really good though.
Hashtag millennials.
Yeah. It's run by Austin Walker. He's super smart. It's real good. Cool. I listened to a podcast called Mystery Hour with James O'Brien, which is absolutely amazing. He's an English dude who does a call-in show on the LBC network in the UK, and the entire idea of it is that people call in with questions that they want answered, and then other people call in with the answers, but the rule is you can't look it up, so it all has to be like knowledge or,
experiential.
It can be either like, hey, I'm a plumber, and so I can tell you about plumber things, or I watched a documentary on plumbers, so I can tell you
about plumber things.
So like the answers aren't always right, but they're always interesting. Right. So I listen to that a lot. James O'Brien also does an interview show that I listen to a lot. I've started listening to a political podcast that I really like, but I cannot remember the name of it because I've only been listening to it for a short amount of time, and it is called Citations Needed, which is really good. I listen to the Idle Thumbs podcast, which is the dudes from...
You listen to a lot of podcasts. Holy crap.
We drive a lot, yo.
Yeah.
I listen to Idle Thumbs, which is a video game podcast that the folks from, kind of the guys from Campo Santos, the folks that did Firewatch, sort of are involved in. It's kind of that team. That's probably about it. I dip into other things now and again. I listen to a video game psychology podcast. I listen to a music podcast that's about video games. So
I also listen to, if you like true crime, there's a podcast. You've probably heard of it because it's massively popular. It's called My Favorite Murder. It's hosted by Georgia Hardstark and Karen Kilgariff. They are writers, comedy writers. They used to write one of I can't remember which one used to write for the Ellen Show. They've done and been on Drunk History. They do stand-up shows. They write for all these. They're writers, and they are hilarious. And you might be thinking, oh, it's a true crime podcast, and they're comics. How does that work? And it's just, they retell the story of these horrific murders that have happened, whether that be from the 1800s, 1700s. Like, they've got all these crazy stories. And and then it's colorful with
funny.
with their language and their stuff. It's funny and it's fun, and it's never ever a victim shamey kind of thing, and it's never a making light of what actually happened. It's all just a light retelling of some of the most horrific things you could possibly imagine.
It's a good episode. I would
really
plug the Dollop too. Like I the only time I listen to it is when my brother, who listens to it religiously, I think he's actually seen him live, is like, oh my God, go listen to this episode of the Dollop. And every single time I'm like, oh my God, this show's so good, I need to start listening to it, and then I never do. But it's every episode I've listened to that has been incredible.
Another podcast called Anna Faris Unqualified. That was I kind of fell off that because it got a little too regimented as far as what they're talking about, who they're talking with, and the way they do it. I just didn't care for it after a while, but listen to the first 100 episodes. You might want to stick with it. And then finally, I also listened to, and this is an adults-only podcast. It's called Lovecast. It's the Dan Savage Lovecast.
Oh, Dan Savage is so good.
So, yeah. If you are
very adult, though. Very adult.
Yeah, very, very adult. If you are any way, shape, or form an adult, and you need love advice, relationship advice, any kind of advice, there is something for everybody on that show in regards to whether it be sex, sexuality, relationships, anything, political, whatever. It is very, 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 very hyper liberal. It is very, very, very hyper profane in the language that's used. So, yeah. Never listen to it with your kids.
Never.
Please be of
headphones.
Some type of age that you can understand the topic if you look it up.
Dan Savage is brilliant, though. He writes for the local...
Is great.
Is he the editor for The Stranger?
Yeah.
He writes for our local alternative newspaper out here. And
and he's been doing this. He's been doing his podcast for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So
super cool guy.
Yeah.
And if you've never listened to Serial, I don't know how you've made it this far in life, listen to Serial. Serial's great. Have you never listened to Serial?
I don't know what that is.
God, the first Serial's amazing.
Okay.
It's so good. It's a true crime podcast.
I would be into it.
Yeah, but it's season based. So the first entire season is about one crime. It's good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There you go, Jjames. You asked if we listen to podcasts.
The answer is yes.
I hope you were able to take notes. All right, finally, wrapping it up with the most important question ever of all time.
Yes.
And it always comes from our dear, dear friend Mansocks.
Yes.
This question is, what's your favorite type of mixed drink?
What is your favorite kind of
Milk and Pepsi. I'm kidding. Actually, don't laugh at it. Laverne on Laverne and Shirley used to drink it, and it tastes like a float.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
Yeah, it does. Don't knock it. It's delicious. I know, however many hundreds of people.
I don't like milk or Pepsi, so.
Yeah. Whoever might be listening probably just vommed all over their car. They're like, no, it's actually good. So my favorite, as a former bartender.
Oh.
I have a couple. It depends on the time of year, and it depends on the type of booze that I am being offered. If it's in the winter months, I particularly like hot buttered rum.
Oh.
And I make a really, really good mix for that.
You'll have to make me some of that, because that sounds delicious.
So I like hot buttered rum. I also make this really, really delicious spiced whiskey and chai liqueur drink that if you shake it up with whipped cream, it tastes like spiked eggnog.
Nice.
So good. What else? There's a drink that my friends and I, my friend came up with, my friend Davey down in Portland. I just saw him this past weekend. I think it's called an 11.5 or a 10.5. Something like that. And you know Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah.
If you could think of the most boozy version of Hawaiian Punch, but it still tasted like Hawaiian Punch.
Nice.
It's the base of it is 3 olives cherry. I'm not getting paid for that.
We don't have an alcohol sponsor yet.
Can we even? Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
The base of it is 3 olives cherry, which is one of the better cherry flavored vodkas. And then you just add, there's pineapple juice, orange juice, little sour mix, grenadine, simple syrup. There's another thing. And then you just top it off with soda water.
Nice.
And it's delicious.
Sounds real good.
So anyway, those are my favorites.
I don't drink a ton. And I don't mix drink almost ever. Like, I'm definitely not the kind of guy who has like...
Are you like a wine, champagne, or beer kind of guy? Or a cider?
Well, I love... And I'm not a big wine person. I'm not a big champagne person. I like beer okay. Like, I'm very particular about the beers I do like. I love cider, all of them. Pineapple cider is incredible.
Apricot cider?
I've never had it, but I would drink it.
Pear cider?
Pear cider is incredible. Love it.
Next time I'm in Portland, I'll get you a 6-pack of that.
That sounds... I'm going to Portland maybe this weekend.
Oh, get it. There's a place called Beer Mongers. Shout out. Again, not getting paid for that. It's on the corner of 12th and Division in Southeast. It's awesome.
Nice.
And they're apricot. I've said it both ways.
Whatever. It's good.
It's so good.
Yeah. So I've had a couple that I've really liked. My friend Alexis used to make awesome like alcoholic Arnold Palmer's. So you get like sweet tea flavored
lemonade.
No.
Sweet tea flavored vodka.
And mix it with lemonade, which I really like.
Which you can just do sweet tea vodka and water.
Interesting.
That's all you need. And squeeze a lemon in there. It tastes like an iced tea.
Oh, that'll work. Yeah.
Done.
And so those are really good. When my brother was out here last, he mixed honey whiskey and oh crap, I forget what the thing that goes in it was. But it was really good, like that kind of like, oh, I could drink 8 of these, and then you're... be on the floor. I think I had one, and it was like, maybe that's enough. I gave him a raspberry pie for his birthday when he came out, and he made me one of those. And like, the original Mario or Mario 2 or 3, I don't know which one we were playing, isn't super easy anymore just because you kind of lack those twitch skills.
Right.
Slightly drunk, it's near impossible. So,
do you like cucumber?
No,
okay. If anybody likes cucumber, like, you know how you go to those fancy restaurants, they're like, oh, would you like some water? So it's got the sliced cucumber in there.
No.
So if you like cucumber water, there's a vodka by a company called Pearl, and they make a cucumber vodka. If you just pour that into just a glass, just a regular shot, and then top it off with water, it tastes like cucumber water.
Interesting.
And it's super crisp and refreshing.
Interesting. I like Captain and Coke.
Why are we talking? Oh, Mansocks, that's why.
Yeah. If, that kind of just basic bar drinks.
Basic AF.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but that's okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and then, anything with a straw and
Oh, anything with an umbrella.
An umbrella, yeah. If I could drink it out of a coconut or a pineapple, that's better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably it. Anything with Bailey's in it that also has coffee in it.
Everything with Bailey's, especially Bailey's.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Mansocks. If you have questions for us, you can feel free to email us.
He told me what his favorite drink was. I forget what it was, though. Doesn't matter.
Probably something. This guy, he's probably like, I like pickle juice.
No.
People do shots of gin with pickle juice backs.
That's gross.
It's terribly disgusting.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you have questions for us, you can drop them in our Discord. You can leave them for us on Facebook or on Twitter, or you can email us, bitemepodcast.com. I think that's
Unless I can scroll back fast enough to find out what Mansock's favorite drink is. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, while you do that, I will remind everybody we are official Humble Bundle partners. I can't talk. Humble Bundle partners. Go to bitemepodcast.com/humble, and you can find all the latest and greatest stuffs to buy and give money towards charity. And you'll help. Speaking of charity, help us out a little bit.
And this month you can get Destiny 2. If you have not got Destiny 2, you should get Destiny 2.
If you've not signed up for the Humble Bundle monthly, make sure you subscribe, because this month, it's $12 a month.
Yep.
You get Destiny 2 on the PC, which I've heard is pretty much the best way to play it.
Very good. Yeah, and you can subscribe just for a month too. Like, you don't need to get in for more than a month.
Yeah. So check it out, bitemepodcast.com/humble. You'll see all that there. And I think that's it. Find us on all the socials, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at Bite Me Podcast, BYTE me podcast.com is our website. Did you find it?
No.
All right.
We'll circle back next week.
Yeah, we'll come back next time.
Perfect.
All right. Until then, you can what?
Bite me.